For over 120 years, Ford has been more than just a car company. It has been America. The Model T, the Mustang, the F-150. The blue oval on the front of a truck has meant something to this country that no spreadsheet can fully explain. It meant jobs. It meant pride. It meant that if you worked hard, you could afford something built by people who worked just as hard as you did. But right now, in 2026, something is happening inside Ford Motor Company that most Americans simply don't know about. And it is serious. We are talking about billions of dollars in losses, thousands of workers losing their jobs, dealerships shutting their doors in towns that have had a Ford lot for 50 years, and a new generation of American car buyers who are quietly and without much drama walking away from the brand entirely. This is not a story about one bad quarter. This is a story about a company at a crossroads, a company that built America's most iconic vehicles and is now struggling to figure out what comes next. So today, we are going to walk through the 10 biggest reasons Ford is in serious trouble, not to bury the company, but because Americans deserve to understand what is actually happening to one of their most important institutions. Let's get into it. Reason number 1, Ford's electric vehicle division is bleeding money at a pace that is genuinely alarming. Ford created a separate division called Model E, that is Model E, as in electric, to house all of its electric vehicle products. The idea was to separate the losses from the profitable gasoline vehicle side of the business. That was a smart move because the losses have been enormous. Ford's electric vehicle division has lost billions of dollars in recent years. Not millions, billions. Roughly $3 billion in a single year at its worst point. That means for every electric Ford vehicle that rolls off a dealership lot, the company is losing tens of thousands of dollars on that single vehicle. Ford is not alone in this struggle. General Motors, Rivian, and even some divisions of Tesla have burned enormous cash on electric vehicles. But Ford's problem is different, and it is bigger for one key reason. Ford staked its entire electric future on the F-150 Lightning, the electric version of America's best-selling truck. And the Lightning has not performed the way the company hoped. Sales slowed dramatically. Ford cut production multiple times. They cut the price not once, but several times, trying to find a number that would move the trucks off lots. But the Lightning never became the mass market product they desperately needed it to be. Americans love their trucks, but they want trucks that work on long hauls, trucks that can tow a heavy trailer through a Montana winter, trucks that don't require the driver to think about charging stations in the middle of nowhere. They have completely dominated markets that Ford used to own internationally, and that lost international revenue matters enormously to Ford's overall financial picture. The F-150 is still number one in America, but the gap is closing, and Ford knows it. When your most important product, the one that funds everything else the company does, starts feeling pressure from every direction at once. That is a 5-alarm warning sign that cannot be ignored. Reason number 3. The financial losses inside Ford are at a scale that would shock most Americans if they saw the numbers laid out clearly in front of them. Ford's electric vehicle division lost approximately $3 billion in one recent year alone. The company has spent tens of billions of dollars retooling factories for electric production. They have taken on enormous debt to fund this transformation, and at the same time, their stock price has significantly underperformed the broader market, meaning the ordinary investors and retirement funds that believed in Ford's future have largely not been rewarded for that belief. Now, Ford is a massive company with revenues in the tens of billions. These losses do not mean Ford disappears tomorrow. This is not a sudden collapse situation, but here is the specific problem with sustained, massive losses in the automobile industry. Cars take years to design, engineer, and bring to market. If you are losing money today, the decisions that caused those losses were made 3, 4, sometimes 5 years ago, and the decisions you are making today will not show results for another 3 to 5 years into the future. You are always operating on a significant delay. That means Ford's leadership must get the next several years of decisions exactly right while already bleeding cash, or the hole gets deeper and harder to climb out of. And historically, when American automakers find themselves in exactly that situation, the story does not always end well. We have seen this before. In 2009, the United States government had to bail out both General Motors and Chrysler to prevent them from collapsing entirely and taking hundreds of thousands of jobs with them. Ford narrowly avoided that same fate by mortgaging nearly every asset it owned back in 2006, years before the financial crisis arrived, to raise emergency cash. The question now is whether Ford's current leadership has that same level of foresight and courage. And the honest answer is that it is not yet. 120 years, Ford has been more than just a car company. It has been America. The Model T, the Mustang, the F-150. The blue oval on the front of a truck has meant something to this country that no spreadsheet can fully explain. It meant jobs. For over 120 years, Ford has been more than just a car company. It has been America. That was a smart move. Because the losses have been enormous, Ford's electric vehicle division has lost billions of dollars in recent years. Not millions, billions. Roughly $3 billion in a single year at its worst point. That means for every electric Ford vehicle that rolls off a dealership lot, the company is losing tens of thousands of dollars on that single vehicle. Ford is not alone in this struggle. General Motors, Rivian, and even some divisions of Tesla have burned enormous cash on electric vehicles. But Ford's problem is different. And it is bigger for one key reason. Ford staked its entire electric future on the F-150 Lightning, the electric version of America's best-selling truck. And the Lightning has not performed the way the company hoped. Sales slowed dramatically. Ford cut production multiple times. They cut the price not once, but several times, trying to find a number that would move the trucks off lots. But the Lightning never became the mass-market product they desperately needed it to be. Americans love their trucks, but they want trucks that work on long hauls, trucks that can tow a heavy trailer through a Montana winter, trucks that don't require the driver to think about charging stations in the middle of nowhere. And right now, the majority of American truck buyers simply do not believe that electric trucks are ready for that kind of life. Ford bet billions of dollars that those buyers were wrong. So far, the market is proving Ford wrong instead. Reason number 2, the F-150-EE, the single most important vehicle Ford produces, is under attack like never before in its history. For over 40 consecutive years, the Ford F-Series has been the best-selling vehicle in the United States. Not just the best-selling truck, the best-selling vehicle of any kind, period. More F-Series trucks are sold every single year than any car, any SUV, any vehicle from any other brand on the planet. That dominance made Ford billions. And it made the company comfortable, perhaps dangerously comfortable. Because while Ford was comfortable, Toyota was working. The Toyota Tundra has been completely redesigned and re-engineered into a genuinely serious full-size truck. Ram, owned by the international giant Stellantis, has taken massive market share away from Ford with its luxurious interiors and smooth highway ride. And Chevrolet's Silverado has never stopped being a real and serious threat. But the newest challenge is one Ford never anticipated coming from this direction. Chinese automakers are beginning to enter global markets with vehicles that severely undercut American truck prices. While Chinese trucks are not yet widely sold inside the United States, they have completely dominated markets that Ford used to own internationally. And that lost international revenue matters enormously to Ford's overall financial picture. The F-150 is still number several years of decisions exactly right, while already bleeding cash, or the hole gets deeper and harder to climb out of. And historically, when American automakers find themselves in exactly that situation, the story does not always end well. We have seen this before. In 2009, the United States government had to bail out both General Motors and Chrysler to prevent them from collapsing entirely and taking hundreds of thousands of jobs with them. Ford narrowly avoided that same fate by mortgaging nearly every asset it owned back in 2006, years before the financial crisis arrived, to raise emergency cash. The question now is whether Ford's current leadership has that same level of foresight and courage. And the honest answer is that it is not yet clear. Reason number 4, Ford dealerships across America are closing. And this is the part of the story that hits closest to home for millions of Americans who live outside the major cities. For most of the 20th century, a Ford dealership was a fixture of small-town American life. It sat on the main road coming into town. It employed local people. It sponsored the Little League teams and the school fundraisers. It was the place where your father bought his first truck and where your grandfather bought his before that. It was part of the community in a way that felt permanent. Those dealerships are disappearing. Some are closing because the owners are aging and no one in the family wants to take over the business. Some are closing because the economics of selling both gasoline and electric vehicles simultaneously with all the new charging infrastructure, the specialized training, and the expensive new equipment that requires is simply too costly for a small independent operation to survive. And some are closing because Ford itself has been aggressively pushing a new direct sales and online purchasing model, deliberately reducing its dependence on the traditional dealership network. That may prove to be the right long-term strategy for the company, but it is devastating for the communities that are left behind in the process. When a Ford dealership closes in a town of 8,000 people, that is often 15, 20, sometimes 30 good-paying jobs that are simply gone. It is lost tax revenue for schools and local services. It is a visible public signal that the town is contracting rather than growing. And it is one more reason for the young people in that town to pack their bags and leave for somewhere larger. The dealership closures are not just a business story. They are a story about what is happening to rural and small-town America right now. And Ford is sitting at the center of it. Reason number 5, Ford has a quality problem. And American consumers have been noticing it for years. J.D. Power, the respected company that measures vehicle quality and customer satisfaction across the entire industry, has consistently ranked Ford below the industry average in what they call initial quality. That means owners of brand new Ford vehicles are reporting more problems in the first 90 days of ownership. To see the real results. Reason number 6, Ford is losing young American buyers. And this may be the most dangerous problem of all, because it is a slow and quiet bleed, not a sudden and obvious crisis. Think about how brand loyalty actually works in the automobile industry. Most people buy the brand their parents drove. If you grew up climbing into the back seat of a Ford Explorer on family road trips, there is a reasonable chance that when you turn 30 and start a family of your own, you will walk into a Ford dealership first, almost out of instinct. But if your parents drove a Ford that broke down repeatedly, or that felt outdated and cheap compared to a friend's Hyundai, or that simply did not feel worth the price they paid for it, that loyalty breaks. And once it breaks, it rarely comes back. Research consistently shows that younger American buyers, millennials, and Generation Z, are significantly more likely than any previous generation to choose Korean or Japanese vehicles. Hyundai, Kia, Toyota, Honda. These brands have invested heavily in technology, in interior materials, in fuel efficiency, and in the specific features that younger buyers actually care about and prioritize. Ford's strategic response has been to lean even harder into trucks and large SUVs products that naturally appeal to older, more rural, and more traditionally loyal buyers. That is a defensible short-term business strategy. Those buyers are deeply loyal, and they spend serious money when they do buy. But it is absolutely not a long-term growth strategy, because older buyers eventually stop buying vehicles entirely. And if there is no pipeline of younger customers being built right now, if a 25-year-old American in 2026 has no emotional connection to the Ford brand, then who is buying the trucks in 2040? Who is keeping the lights on? This is the quiet crisis that lives underneath all of the louder and more visible ones. And Ford does not yet have a convincing answer for it. Reason number 7. China, which was once one of Ford's most important and most promising growth markets in the entire world, has effectively shut the door on American automakers. For many years, Ford and General Motors both depended heavily on China to provide the growth that a mature and already saturated American market could no longer deliver on its own. China's rapidly rising middle class was buying cars at a pace the world had never witnessed before, and for a period of time, American brands carried a strong premium image in China that allowed them to charge good prices and generate real, meaningful profits. That era is over. Chinese domestic automakers brands like BYD, Geely, and SAIC have become genuinely world-class competitors. BYD in particular has built electric vehicles that are technologically sophisticated, remarkably affordable, and deeply trusted by Chinese consumers who now prefer that scale are absolutely enormous. And when interest rates rise, as they did dramatically in recent years, those payments grow more expensive with them. Every single dollar Ford spends on interest payments to its lenders is a dollar that does not go toward engineering, toward product design, toward the kind of bold, ambitious, risk-taking development that could actually turn this company's direction around. Companies that are drowning in debt make conservative decisions. They cannot take big swings. They cannot afford to launch a product and have it fail. And the automobile industry, especially right now, in the middle of the most dramatic technological transition since the original invention of the combustion engine, is absolutely not a place where conservative decisions lead to winning. Ford needs to be bold right now. Its balance sheet is demanding that it be careful. That fundamental tension sits at the heart of almost every difficult decision the company faces in 2026. Reason number 9, Ford's relationship with its own workers has become deeply and painfully strained. And in 2023, that tension finally exploded into the open for the entire country to see. The United Auto Workers Union, the UAW, launched one of the most significant and dramatic strikes against American automakers in modern history. Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis all faced simultaneous walkouts. Workers walked off the job at Ford plants across multiple states, demanding better wages, stronger benefits, and genuine job security in the face of a company telling them the electric future was coming, whether they were ready or not. The union's core concern was entirely straightforward and completely legitimate. Electric vehicles require fewer individual parts than gasoline-powered vehicles. Fewer parts means fewer workers needed to assemble them. Fewer workers means fewer good-paying jobs in communities that have depended on those jobs for generations. If Ford converts its factories to build electric vehicles without legally binding protections for the workers currently inside those factories, thousands of solid middle-class union jobs could simply vanish. Ford eventually reached a deal with the UAW after weeks of pressure and negotiation. The agreement was expensive for the company's significant wage increases, improved benefits, stronger job security provisions, and that deal, while absolutely right for the workers who earned it, added substantially to Ford's cost burden at precisely the moment the company could least afford any additional pressure. The deeper wound is one of trust. Ford's workers have watched with their own eyes what happened to their communities over the past 4 decades as American manufacturing moved overseas or was quietly automated away. They are not willing to simply accept warm reassurances that the electric future will be good for them. They need proof in writing with consequences. Future of transportation. Harley-Davidson means American freedom on 2 wheels. What does Ford mean in 2026? If you asked 1,000 Americans that question today, you would get 1,000 different answers. And that blurriness, that uncertainty, at the very core of the brand's identity, is something that no advertising campaign, no matter how expensive or clever, can repair on its own. It has to come from the products themselves, from building vehicles so genuinely good, so reliably dependable, so unmistakably right for real American life, that the meaning comes rushing back on its own. Ford knows this. The entire company knows this. The only question that actually matters now is whether they have the time, the financial resources, and the leadership vision to make it actually happen. So where does Ford go from here? The honest answer is that it depends entirely on decisions being made right now, inside boardrooms and engineering departments and design studios that the public never sees and rarely thinks about. Ford does have real and genuine strengths. The F-150 is still the best-selling vehicle in America by a significant margin. The Bronco has been a genuine and unexpected success, one of the rare new products in recent memory that reconnected younger American buyers with the Ford name through a combination of nostalgia and genuine off-road capability. The Mustang still carries extraordinary emotional weight that no competitor has come close to matching. Ford is also making serious investments in battery technology, in new and more efficient manufacturing methods, and in software-defined vehicles, the kind of connected, constantly improving, over-the-air updatable transportation that the next decade of American driving will absolutely require. But all of that potential, all of those investments, all of those plans have to ultimately translate into profitable vehicles that real American families actually want to purchase at a price they can realistically afford, built to a quality standard high enough that they come back and buy Ford again 10 years later. The window is not closed, but it is narrowing with every passing quarter. The American automobile industry has reinvented itself before. After the oil price shocks of the 1970s threatened to make American cars obsolete overnight, after the Japanese manufacturers arrived in the 1980s and proved that reliable, affordable cars could be built anywhere, after the financial crisis of 2008 nearly wiped out the entire Detroit establishment in a matter of months. Every single time, American automakers were written off by the experts. Every single time, they surprised the world and found a way back. Whether Ford finds that way back this time, whether the Blue Oval means something powerful and clear to American families in 2035, the way it did in 1965 and 1985, that is the story of the next 10 years. And it is a story worth watching very closely. Ford has given America more than most Americans fully realize. Millions of jobs across generations, millions of vehicles that carried families across this vast country, a full century of mobility that shaped how America looks, how its cities were built, how its people live and move and work. That story is not over, but it is at a turning point. And turning points deserve serious attention from serious people. If this video gave you a clearer picture of what is actually happening to one of America's most important and most storied companies, please hit that subscribe button right now. We cover stories exactly like this one every single week. Stories about what is really happening in American industry, in American cities, and in the American economy that most channels are simply not telling. Because understanding what is happening around you is always the first step toward being ready for what comes next. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next one.